Holy cow, I just realized it's been a month since I put out our last video. I have nearly about 2 terabytes of video that I have yet to kind of compile down and put out, and I'm really excited to do that, but I've gotten super busy lately. For those of you who are not familiar with us and have just joined Wild One Sailing, I retired from Apple back in April of 2023, I seem to remember, and I had worked for them for nearly 2 decades. I was very fortunate to have been working as a system integrator and a hardware engineer and a systems architect for both iPhone and watch. And so when I got out of Apple, it really wasn't because I didn't like my job, and it wasn't because I didn't like Apple. I really enjoyed both of them, but you know, I just wanted to do something different and needed to take some time off. And so I took a couple years off, or maybe not even that, and then I started to pick up a couple side gigs. And so right now I'm kind of splitting my time between 2 consulting gigs, one being a system architect for a medical device company, and the other being a system architect for an aviation company. And in addition to that, I'm starting a company with another fellow sailor that I met at the end of last season. So hopefully that will continue to progress, and we should be able to talk about our new, very exciting product for the sailing community. But who knows? We'll see what happens there. So the title of the video is Happiness is Ending a Cruising Season and Beginning a New One. And I think that's very telling of my personality. I get bored of things. I have lots of hobbies. Throughout life, I kind of jump around from one hobby to the next and then back to the same hobby and that sort of thing. I just have so many interests and so many things that I'm really interested in and like doing. I don't think I'm very unusual. I think there's a lot of other people like that as well. But I know that when I was leading up to my retirement and my decision to finally leave Apple, I was watching Neil Kelly's and Gone with the Winds and a bunch of other influencers, and you know, it really helped get my wife over the hump of saying, you know, I think we can do this. And so I kind of genuinely hope that you guys get something out of these videos, and that perhaps, you know, it helps you get your significant other over the hump, or, you know, just get you over the hump and thinking that, yeah, this is something that I think I can do, and I'm going to pursue it. So anyway, I want to say thank you to all my new subscribers, and if you happen to like this video, before you go, please hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells, and help us get to 1,000. It would really be super fun if we could achieve that. Thank you very much. All right, it's Saturday night. It is April 27th, and we have been at Homer Smith's Marina in Beaufort, and we've been enjoying our week and a day here, and we're paid up through Monday, but we're gonna leave tomorrow. It looks like we're gonna have a pretty good window up to the Chesapeake. Sharon, you have anything to say?
No, I just really feel blessed that we were able to make it up here and spend a nice week in Beaufort. Love this cute little coastal town, and really excited to get back to the Chesapeake and haul her out.
Alright, it's 5:15, 5:20, and we're leaving today. No winds on the harbor right now. It's really calm. Should be easy to get off the dock, and I guess we'd like to get out of here at first light so we can get up to Hampton or Norfolk or Yorktown or wherever we're going today. Million fishing boats going out. The mad rush to catch the fish. Look at all those boats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alright, we're outside of Beaufort Harbor now, and we're making our way around Cape Lookout. Alright, we're coming up on Cape Lookout Shoals. Buoy number 2. We've made the turn. We're still motor sailing. The winds are still light. The water out here is so calm.
A little bit of swells, but pretty not too high. Looks like we got good company coming up around Hatteras. There's at least 7 boats out here, and couple miles behind. They got a little later start than we did, and we're gonna have good company. It's always good to have extra boats out here, you know, in case something happens. It's funny. I don't know if I did something incredibly stupid or I just gave everybody an excuse to say, well, he can do it, I can do it. But we have 1, 2, 3, and it looks like this 4th boat is going to be following our same path through the shoals. We cut it off. Cut it off right here. We didn't go around that marker, and it was pretty narrow. We were through it pretty quickly, and there was no breaking waves or anything. It was, I think I saw nothing less than about 25 feet. Yay. So, what time is it? It's almost 2 o'clock, and we're about 35 miles from Cape Hatteras. We're making the turn more north, and the weather keeps getting more and more mild, at least the wind forecast anyway. Pretty accurate in terms of direction and strength, but they just keep revising the strength downwards, the wind strength downwards. So we've only got about 10 knots, but because it's behind us, we've only got 3 to 4 knots of apparent, which means the sails are making lots of noise and going back and forth and kind of frustrating a little bit. Just wish the wind would pick up. It's supposed to pick up a little bit more, maybe as we get around 7, 8 o'clock tonight, just in time for the sun to go down. So we got to decide what we want to do there, but it's looking still pretty benign. So I think maybe we'll just you know, I don't know, maybe we can do the main and the Jennifer. I think it's going to be a reach once we get to Hatteras. I think there's a weather event coming in on Tuesday, so we definitely want to be up there before that. And right now we're going to get in the evening of Monday, so plenty of time. But again, I don't think we could. We're sailing along at 3 knots or 4 knots or something like that. I think we would be pushing it into Tuesday for sure, which we don't want to do. So, oh well. All right, well, we are about 16 miles from Hatteras, and we're making 7 to 7.5. We're going wing on wing. Seems to have bought us about a half a knot. So I think we're just going to wait for the next 2 hours before we start rounding Hatteras, and then the wind will be more on the beam, and I think we'll be able to shut our motors down and make some good time. Still messing around with how to put the preventer in. My latest thing is I added this soft shackle. We crossed Cape Hatteras. Diamond Shoal buoys up here. Can't really see it. We finally turned up and we got a fair wind of 117 and 20 knots of true. 15 knots of apparent. We got the Jennifer and the full main. And we're making 7.5 to 8.2 overground. And finally got the old iron jennies shut down. So we don't have to listen to them anymore. This is 7 knots, 7.5 knots through the water, 8 overground. And well, we brought the Jennifer down. And probably a good idea anyway, because it's getting dark. And don't want to be up on deck unnecessarily in the night if you don't have to. So I was seeing 22 knot gusts, and our apparent was 15. I think we're okay, but we were flying at 8.5, 9 knots, and so I didn't want them to build any more and then get into trouble. So anyway, so we brought it down, which is probably sure. And right now we got full main and Soul and Telt. and still making some good time. 6.9, 7 knots. Speed over ground, and 20 knots through. Alright, it's 4 o'clock, and we're about 48 nautical miles from making the turn in the Chesapeake. Got a main out, full main, and a Solent, and we're doing about 6 couple, 6.2, 6.3. I had slept, or tried to sleep anyway, from 10 to 3, and now Shireen is off watch. And it's a beautiful night. It's a little chilly, but great wind for sailing, and the sea state's pretty decent. Alright, 6:34, and we got the Jennifer back out again, and we're doing 8, 7.6 through the water, 8.3 over land, and I think we're about 2 hours, 2.5 hours from making the turn. The sun just came up a little bit ago, and beautiful day. Looks like it's starting to warm up. Shireen's still sleeping, and is on watch in an hour, I guess. Virginia over there, coming up on Virginia Beach, I guess, in an hour maybe or so. It's 10:30. We're coming up on Cape Henry, and for those of you who have transited the Chesapeake Bay before, I mean, you know how busy it is. It's a little daunting. Gives me a lot of anxiety. Lots of traffic, lots of boats, military ships, fighter planes flying overhead. Great. I think we got a military vessel coming out. I think we're okay, but the problem is they don't always show up on AIS. CH. I don't know what that is. Looks like a military ship. Or Coast Guard. Alright, after coming in from Beaufort, we went to York River Haven, and we've been here for 3 nights now. And you can see Yorktown across the way there. It was kind of nice to come in here. We got in here around probably 4 or 5 o'clock on 4 or 5 o'clock. When did we get here? Yeah, we got here Monday, and today is Thursday. So after coming in from Beaufort, it was about a 34-hour trip. And you know, it's good to come in and wash up and not have some pretty calm weather and be able to go out to eat and clean the boat up and all that stuff. So we're gonna go empty our holding tanks today, and then we are going to get ready to leave, because we're gonna go head on over to, I believe, the North River or off of Mobjack Bay, so we can anchor out and get ready to haul out tomorrow at Zimmerman. Alright, we're cutting across a shortcut rather than going out and around. We've been through here a couple times without an issue, but today it's actually, right now it's low tide with 0.3 feet of tide, and it seems like it's going to be a non-issue. I slowed down so in case we ground, we don't dig in too far. All right, it's the night before we get hauled out at Zimmerman. It's May 2nd. We got a couple pizzas in the oven, and I made a little bit too much dough, so we got 3 pizzas. I got that one right there, and we're in beautiful East River, I believe, and it's very tranquil around here. Alright, well, we just finished up dinner, and it's 7 o'clock, and there's a couple that came by and said that there is a little get-together for cruisers in the cruising lounge at Zimmerman. I don't know what the cruising lounge is. Maybe they were building a kind of a building and stuff. Maybe they put a lounge in there. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna head on over, I think, and meet some new people, I guess. And everybody is super superiendly cruising. All right, it's Friday morning, about 7:40, and we're supposed to get in there pretty shortly here. The boat's in disarray. Packing everything up, getting ready to get off the boat, and as soon as we get the call, we'll get going here. The morning, this time seems like it's the absolute awesome best time to be up in Virginia. Springtime. The air is crisp and, well, not crisp, it's a little humid, but it's cool and there's a nice breeze. And anyway, yesterday we had taken down the head sail, which kind of involves coming up here, and we attach a Prusik line onto our halyard, and then we wrap it, and then we have a piece of Dyneema that goes around here, and we pull this down so that we can unlock this. And once we do that, then this car can go up, and the halyard, which is now at the top, actually it's not, it exited, is at the top, so you have to attach the line. So we had previously done this with a much smaller diameter line that they gave us on the boat, but unfortunately it would always jump the sheave at the top, and I'd have to go up there. And if you saw our previous episode from October, you saw that I had to go up there. So after a little bit of jiggering, we were able to kind of start pulling the sail down. And I should have got a recording of it, but we don't know exactly what we're doing perfectly, so I'm a little hesitant to show everybody how we don't really quite got it. But maybe that would be instructional. Anyway, also we have to raise our bowsprit, and so there, yeah, I have to go in the water, take the cotter pins out, and loosen up the turnbuckle so that I can then pull it up and hold it up, because otherwise the sled, which comes down under here, this sticks out too far, and it's too long. And I think also it just helps save space in the yard as well. And then everything else I just kind of tie up here, so that hopefully it doesn't go very far over the next 6 months. This one over here is from Bimini. That one's from Bimini.
That's not bad. That's not worth whining about.
Go feel it, dude. It was pretty deep. I mean, we were on that. We were on it pretty hard, I think. Now my hands are all dirty. Great.
So this spots here, is that paint rubbed off?
No. No, this is growth.
This is growth?
Yeah.
He could have been scrubbed off?
Yeah, I could. I mean, most of that was scrubbed off when I was in the Exumas, but a lot of this has come back since then.
You're right, I can't reach that.
All right, after an hour drive, we are here in Norfolk, and we are at Bain Brothers, and this is the only place in Virginia that services life rafts. Only one. So Shreen did all the work to get them to service our, who makes it?
Hero. So
Hero.
they usually don't service Hero life rafts, but they service the American version of the Hero life raft. Ours is European because Nautitech is a French company, and so they had to get proper certification in order to certify us, and they got that for us. And so we're dropping it off today, and then we'll pick it up in October when we come back to Wild One.
Anyway, so we just dropped it off, and Kim, she's totally awesome. And after some going back and forth of whether or not they could recertify our life raft, they finally contacted Hero and Revere and got the certificate. I guess part of the challenge, I guess, is that we have a French boat and they put on it French equipment, and 4W I think is a French company, but I don't know if 4W is like, it has Hero brand on it, but the manufacturer of the life raft is actually Revere. Yeah. So I don't understand that whole thing, but
so the European model is called Hero. The American model is called Revere Regatta. We were told by the Hero company that it's the exact same life raft, just sold under a different name in America, but exactly the same life raft. So Kim just told us that Revere agreed to just send them a certification free of charge, because they've already been certified on the Regatta. So they didn't have to get recertified for the Hero life raft, which is why they allowed us to drop it off, and that they were going to service it for us. So very exciting.
Yeah, it's totally cool in there. They got it's not a huge space, but they have a pretty big space where they can put 25-person life rafts that are on big passenger ships and stuff like that, and they inflate them with compressed air, and they let them sit for as long a time as they're certified for. In our case, we 24 hours, and they check the pressure before and after, and then they go through all the contents of the raft itself and make sure it's all up to, it hasn't expired, and replace all that, and then they fold it all back up and put it all back in the case. So and I guess apparently Kim said that the person that actually does this, it costs quite a bit of money to actually learn to get certified in order to do this. It's like $5,000, and they have to get recertified on every raft that they do, raft line that they do every 3 years. Every 3 years. Yeah. So it's quite an interesting business, but who knew?
It's funny because she asked me the color of our life raft, and I said, I don't know. I've never opened it. She started laughing. She's like, you're not supposed to open it. I'm like, I don't know the color. And I said, Kim, if I ever saw the color of that life raft, you and I would not be talking, because I'm not going back on that sailboat if we have to ever life raft. And we were laughing about it, and actually it's kind of reassuring now that I see the inside of a life raft and it blown up, like, it's fine. Like, I think you would be able to survive, with people, someone coming to get you within, 24 to 48 hours, just fine. It's a really durable, huge raft. It's just nice to be able to see that and know that we'll be okay if something does happen to Well One.